How's it going? It's Glaive here. This past Friday, we got some great news regarding the game client. Fantastic news, in fact, and I believe it warrants further analysis. In short, in response to a community question about bad coding, New World's Delacron responded with this. Our Kombat code is being completely rewritten for better flexibility, stability, and more performance, especially within client memory. We'll be sharing details for a related PTR test within the next few weeks actually. Sounds great, right? Smoother combat. But it actually hints towards a much larger plan that the devs have got that I myself have talked about in past videos. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know how hyped I am for upcoming controller support and inevitable console release. You'll also know that I predicted a console launch in early 2025, maybe late 2024 if we're lucky. Well, based on this statement, I'd say Q3 or Q4 2024 is a solid lock. It's no longer a maybe. I've also predicted a wave of performance and stability improvements for New World in 2024, and this combat rework once again confirms that this is the start of something very, very exciting for the game. Why a solid lock? Well, a complete rewrite of the combat code is not as simple as removing just a few errant backslashes from the file. It's a mammoth amount of work. For this to be coming soon, the team at AGS have to have been working on this for months, if not a year or more. And if this gigantic job is nearly ready to unveil publicly, then we can assume similar work has been going on in the background in other areas and filling up the pipeline. Why do you say that, Glaive? Well, good question, hypothetical viewer. And again, it all comes down to console release. Now, I've touched on this before, but both Xbox and PlayStation as gaming platforms have their own rigorous standards and certification processes when it comes to hosting games on their stores. As with every rule, there are exceptions of course, but in general, games have to meet a certain level of quality if they want to release on these consoles. And these standards include, above all else, performance and stability. Now, I did do my research on this, and while I wasn't able to find a copy of PlayStation's standards online, I was able to find this. Xbox requirements for console games. Now, all of this is applicable to New World if it releases on Xbox, and the rules will be similar for PlayStation. But today, given the topic, we are interested in title stability. So let's take a look. So, all titles releasing on Xbox must continue to run and remain responsive to user input. Now, of course, this is talking about crashes, something which a portion of the player base are very familiar with. Xbox are not going to allow the bug that's been impacting people where at the Amazon logo it flashes white and shuts down again. It's just not going to be allowed. Apps must shut down gracefully and not close unexpectedly. Again, stability and performance. The app must handle exceptions raised by any of the managed or native system APIs and remain responsive to user input after the exception is handled. That means during the game, if it glitches, if it bugs, it can't crash. Obviously there are exceptions, but it can't crash, it needs to stay online. Now, this is the tip of the iceberg, but it's a very, very large iceberg, and it all starts with this combat rework. If console release is coming up next year, which I now firmly believe it is towards the end of next year, they're going to have been working on each and every improvement that needs to be made, not only to get the game to a standard where it's going to perform well on console, but to a standard where they can maintain and build upon that going forward. So yeah, fantastic news for New World, a combat rework from the ground up. But mark my words, I promise you, this is the tip of a much larger iceberg that leads to console release and a much more stable, hopefully much better coded, client for the game. I stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday and Friday UK evenings. You will find me here, or you can click in the link below. If you found this video at all interesting, entertaining, informative, or just time consuming, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps with that YouTube algorithm. And until next time, take care.